I think we are live. Hey, everybody. Chris and Brennan here again. Welcome to the Friday Freak Show. We're going to do Q&A today. So Brennan he's been here several times before. He's an amazing agency owner, owns several digital agencies and software development. So Brennan, thanks again for answering questions for us again today.
Always love it to join. So glad to be here.
Well, here's the goal today. We're just going to roll through, keep it cash, but we're going to just answer a bunch of questions that have come in over the past week and make sure that we can kind of detail those out. So I'll read off the questions. If you have questions while we're doing this, please absolutely just jump in there and ask questions as we go, and we'll make sure that we answer yours live, and that would be super, super easy. Okay, so first up, this is from Steven. Struggling with branding. Is it important to have logo and the exact name figured out before I sell? Also wanting to do Facebook, business cards, website, or can I just sell and get referred and start doing business now? That's a good one. You want me to take it? You want to take it?
I was going to say, I would just go with selling. I mean, you can figure out, the bottom line is if you can bring revenue into the business right now, go for that. You can always figure out what do I want my branding kit to look like? How much do I want to spend on that? So yeah, focus on bringing in revenue now, because the reality is you could spend a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of money trying to figure out how you want your company to be branded, what you want to look like. And you get there and you turn around and you realize I just spent the last month focusing on this, spending all that money, and I've generated no income. So yeah, go out and focus on selling the actual product and then worry about that stuff later. Even if worst case scenario, you can go out and sell enough to hire somebody to come in and manage the whole branding component for you.
Yep. I always say the same thing. Oh, by the way, hey, Pip. Hey, Chris. And hey, Chris. And hey, Nikki. It's great to see everybody. Hey, Carol. What's up? So, yes, I would say the same thing. So if you don't have a logo and you don't have your name, you're going to do some Facebook, you're going to do a website, whatever. Awesome. Yay, you. Just simply crush the thing right now. Go out and sell your idea. Your logo will come along. It's fine. If you look at Elite Agency's logo on this Facebook group, it's freaking not a logo. I just wrote the words. I still haven't put a logo together for Elite Agency because it just doesn't matter that much. Honestly, it really doesn't. People think it does, but it doesn't. Sheridan, great to see you. All right, so next one up from Amy. By the way, anybody watching, if you have questions, we go through this. We're just handling questions from the past week. If you have a question live about your digital agency, creative agency, and you want a question from either Brennan or I as coaches, we're just hanging out answering questions. So I'm going to rattle through this week's list and drop your own questions there. Jeannie, hey, great to see you. So Amy says, doing content for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, etc., overwhelmed. Any tips on thinking of more content and how to stay relevant without drowning? Good question, Amy. Well, you get Brennan on the phone and you say, hey, dude, do you want to handle content with me for the day? Because I'm tired. Anyway, go ahead.
Go for that way. Yeah, no. So I would add, try to look at, if you're going to feed all that content, look at it from the top down, meaning where can you distribute that content and splice off other segments of it. So one of the things that I typically tell clients is let's create videos for you. Number one, it's a lot easier for somebody to create a video and actually talk than it is to actually write a blog article. That's number one. From there, you can extract, obviously, the audio component, turn it into a blog, turn it into quote cards, post stuff on, social media, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram. So look at it from that point. If you're trying to, you're feeling overwhelmed, you kind of want to break it down. Look at it from where can I create the content where I'm able to extract it and then distribute it to other channels. That's one thing. And then I would actually focus on mapping out a game plan of what that is. So make sure you have like a calendar content or content calendar that you strategically set up. That way you have a game plan in place and then have enough content in your backlog to be able to say, okay, when I am feeling overwhelmed, maybe I'll take this week off, but I know we have, 4 or 5 different articles, videos, posts that I can have my team go out and distribute over the course of time. And you can use third-party social media tools. We personally use HubSpot to distribute our stuff, but there's, Hootsuite, a whole bunch of other ones that, you can put them set them up at the beginning of the month and distribute it. So that's just a couple ways to save some time. Hopefully that works for you.
Yep. No, I totally say the same thing. In fact, StreamYard actually does that. I've not explored StreamYard yet. You can see I still got the StreamYard logo up there because this is the free version, I think. But you can like stream this thing to all those places at one time. Should be smart, right? I should be doing that right now. You can stream this to all those places at one time. If you want to be on a bunch of channels, that's an easy way to do it. For me, I just simply go off of questions that are in the group here. If you don't have your own group, when I first started groups like way back, I would just go into other people's groups and see questions that got a lot of traffic and that had a lot of attention. And then I would answer those questions in my own group or on my own podcast or that kind of thing, because that was obviously relevant to a lot of people. So that's what I did there. And for me now, we do some Instagram stuff. Somebody else manages our Instagram account. I actually speak here in this face group a lot. But often when I do my daily Facebook posts here, if I'm answering a question, I'll just jump on my phone and I'll do a quick like 30-second, 60-second IGTV type post and then upload it to our Google Drive for the person who's helping us with our Instagram. So if it's on my mind, I just go ahead and rattle it off to several platforms real quick where they can share it out and split up however they want to. Good. Anything else you want to add there, Breynan? Are we good?
No, I think you nailed it.
That's a good question. Okay, here's the next one. This one is Scott. Scott says, hey, thanks for all the advice. Absolutely, Scott. Let me just read through this one real quick. Okay. Lots of new clients coming back online post-COVID. Yay, you, Scott. And feeling a little overwhelmed with workload. How do I get my time back? Boom, I want to go that one.
I was going to say, go see Chris. That's
That's easy. Okay, Scott, here's what you do. You just quit work. No, what you do, Scott, super great. First of all, so glad you're making money. Clients come back online. That is huge right now, right? So here's what you do. You want to make sure that the things that you're doing, kind of look through the workflows going on and think through what are the things that are taking you the most time, that are the easiest things to train or hand off to someone else. And I know, I think I'm brilliant like every day and I must be the best person on the planet to do what I do, but I'm not, right? There's always somebody who can do everything I do better than me, no matter what it is. So find the things that are easiest for you to let go of emotionally, or just the way you think you could delegate them easily, whatever that feeling is you get or that logic behind it. Hey, this would be easy to hand off. It's taking a lot of my time. So I'm going to go find someone else who can take care of it. And I'm simply going to just jump in. I'm going to like a screen recording. And I'm going to show, here's how I do the process. I copy and paste a whole bunch of this stuff for our clients. I duplicate systems, funnels, whatever, and make videos of that, dump it in a Google Drive file, find somebody on Upwork, on Fiverr, somebody you get referred to, somebody you may already know who's looking to pick up some extra hours because they lost their job. They can just replicate the process, get it off your plate, pay someone else to help you with that, and make sure that as your clients are coming back online, you're getting new clients that you're selling for, an extra 10, 20, 30% as you can to help cover that cost. So it'll get your time back in order, keep your cash flow good, and you can start scaling up that way.
I'm just going to say nailed it. Nailed it. I don't really have much to add to that.
Cool. All right. Anybody else has got any questions? Again, fire them away here. We're going to keep reading them off, and we'll hang out until we get them all answered. Okay. Let's see here. I'm not going to mention a name on this one. Feeling stressed and anxious and dark some days, trying to keep everything floating financially, clients leaning in, etc. How do you stay motivated? That's a good question.
Well, I think I would say I've been there, but I'm not sure to what extent that this person's coming from. How do you stay motivated? I truly look at this as it's not a job for me. It's a passion. It's my passion project. I love the element of digital marketing. I love to be able to help business owners on a daily basis. I mean, I love diving into other people's business and say, hey, how do we solve a problem? How do we create new opportunities for you? So I would, ask yourself, is what you're doing something that you're truly passionate about? Is it the thing that's making you happy? And if it's not, then, let's pivot to find out what it is that, is more aligned with your happiness. And from there, I think you'll find a better solution to be able to, then explore how that opportunity can present income for you.
That's a good answer. that passion's a big deal. By the way, Danny, welcome. Glad you're watching. This is not Danny's question. You want to keep the name of this person private. Jenny, great to see you too. So my answer to that question about being discouraged and dark and depression, that kind of stuff, that's been a struggle for me personally. Dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression over the years for multiple reasons. We can dig into that some other day on a different show. But for me, it's, even though I love what I do, when I get overworked, things start collapsing around me. That's a lot of the reason that we've built our agencies the way we have, where they don't take much of my time, is because I'm freer and I'm better when I'm out and about and I'm thinking and I'm free to move and free to be outside and free to be walking the dog or paddleboarding or hiking or whatever. And I get productive then. So when I'm stuck in a spot where I can't move or breathe, I get dark. So to answer the question to the person who asked, I would start like intentionally making sure you're not working and not engaging your mind in work on the weekends. I'd start there. Don't know if you are or not.
Good answer. Yeah.
And then I would start peeling back the hours per day also. So if you're working till 10 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night, start dropping 30 minutes a day. Just set a time on your phone, drop back a little bit each day until you get that down to where you're working normal hours or something that gives you space to eat dinner with friends or family or go for a walk or, or even binge on Netflix and have a bowl of ice cream. Something that gets your mind off work, where you can really unplug, put the phone down, laptop down, be done for the day, go to sleep, and wake up the next day and conquer the next day. That's where I start. Physical activity also is a big deal for me.
Yeah, and I was going to add on that. You just hit it. If you feel like you're hitting that wall during the course of the day, just get out and take a little break, and call a loved one on the phone, but take a walk. Now the sun's out. It's nicer part of the year all the way throughout the country. So enjoy the sunshine. Get out of the office. Take a little bit of sunshine in. Just break that up into maybe a 15-minute walk around your community.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Peter asks. Got two projects, two distinctly different directions to go, both in the digital agency space. How do I know which one to pick?
He's got two ask that question again.
It sounds like he's got two projects, like two completely different brands.
Okay.
He doesn't know he's got two great ideas. Which one does he go after? Which market does he go after? Which brand does he go after? Which does he do both at the same time? Let's just kind of go on that path. That question comes up frequently. That's a good one.
Okay. I'll let you.
Yeah. I
jump
think,
on that and then.
Yeah, I think, Peter, if I'm hearing you right, I think because this does come up quite a bit. If you've got two amazing ideas, two markets you want to tackle, two services like a done-for-you service or maybe a coaching service, but they both have the same kind of content involved, which one do you want to go after? Can you do two at once is the question. All right, let's start there. I own my own and run my own, and Breynan does too, multiple businesses, but we have lots of staff and resources behind us now. That's not the way it starts. When you're starting something, you got to build cash flow and you got to build systems, and you have to build the people around you to make one thing sustainable. And then you can take your focus off that for a minute because it's running, and you can go start working on something else. So for my advice on that one would be pick the one that you think you love the most. Don't build it yet. Just pick it and start selling the concept. If you can sell what you're going to do and then build it once somebody pays you as you're going through the process of, building it, don't spend the next 2 weeks like building a website and having stuff printed and getting banners and building out a full Facebook page for your new brand. Just sell the thing, get a client or two so you know it's viable, then build it, then get the systems, the people, all that set up. And then in a year, 6 months, 2 months, 5 years, whatever it takes you to be sustainable where you're comfortable, pivot to the next thing and start tackling that project.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, it's in software, it's called the MVP. You can apply that same model to anything, and MVP stands for minimum viable product. And, basically what you're trying to do there is exactly what Chris just hit on, is validate that there is a market for it, that you can go sell it, and then create, like, again, Chris is saying, create the systems around it. But, go to that portion first, and then, develop a process of systems, put the people in place to be able to step into it. I can tell you from experience, I've done this. I was at a point where about 5 years ago, we built up our software company, and it took me 10 months of my personal time working with our development team, long hours up at midnight and so forth like that to develop that. Well, because everything wasn't as airtight as I would have liked in the agency. We ended up losing about 600,000 in annual recurring revenue,
Wow.
which, hurt. It took a while to get back. And so, from that personal experience, what I did was I was able to build a better infrastructure going through that process and losing that revenue for the software company, to where when it was time to walk out of the software company, I could just literally hand it over to my partner. And, I ended up spending about 4 hours a week on, managing stuff over there and focusing back on the agency. So the only reason that succeeded was because I had that same failure within the agency and realized that as I was going through the process. So just be sure that you have everything airtight over there when you decide to move on to that second project.
Awesome. No, that's good advice. Next one's totally yours. Oh, by the way, hey, Justin, great to have you here, man. How do you pick a good bookkeeper? That's Destiny. How do you pick a bookkeeper? You got a great story behind this one, dude. That's an expensive one for you.
Yeah. Should I share the story?
I think there was a time you told me you lost a lot of money because you didn't have a book.
Yeah. The quick story is I decided I was going to be, do it myself bookkeeper, and ended up not building a client for 6 months, and it cost me a handful of money. So how do you find a good bookkeeper? Is it all right to drop like a reference? I have no affiliation with these people outside that I work with them. Would that be useful? Yeah. Okay. No, yeah. If you guys want a good, and just, this is my opinion, disclaimer, I do work with this company, with one of our companies. Fully Accountable is a good company that caters to the digital marketing space. He's the CEO of that company. I do not know personally, but I know he is in a couple different masterminds that I'm very familiar with and have friends in there. And a lot of people use the company, including myself, and they're happy with them. They do accounting services and bookkeeping. A little more expensive, but I like the stuff that they deliver on. If I had to go outside of that, you can look to your local market. A lot of CPAs, and again, CPAs will have bookkeepers, or be able to reference bookkeepers for you, so you can try that element as well. But yeah, that's where I would start.
Okay, that's good. I don't have an agency reference like that. I use a bookkeeper that what's up, Jeff? Chris, welcome back. Jeff, good to see you, man. I use a bookkeeper who I've known for years and was referred to by somebody else. She does bookkeeping out of her home. She works for like 10 or 15 clients at once. She bills by the hour. So once a month, she jumps in our QuickBooks Online, and she handles all the invoicing for our clients and our customers and cleans it all up and gets everything straightened out and gets that all good. So that's what I do. I use an individual, and I just asked around other business owners I knew. She does not specialize in Jeff's just saying hi to you. Sorry, I'm stumbling because I'm trying to talk to people on Facebook while we're on. Yeah. She doesn't really focus on the digital agency space. She's just a general business bookkeeper, but it's a P&L. It's not that hard, So anyway, that's that. Jeff, by the way, your comment popped up here on StreamYard. Dude, you got a lot of dogs, man. That's fantastic. I'm a huge dog fan. Those are beautiful. Looks like you're maybe a breeder or a trainer, or at least doing competitions, because those are legit. Some beautiful Goldens in there. Anyway, great to have you.
You have a Golden Retriever, don't you?
I have a yellow lab mutt. He's a dog. Okay. He's just a dog. But he's my dog, right?
He's a good-looking dog. I've seen pictures.
He wanders around sometimes in the studio or in the videos when I'm outside. Okay, trainer. Jeff's a trainer. Sweet. Pip, loving the dogs. Woo! You hit the gold mine on Pip right there. Yeah, trainer, dude. That's so awesome, dude. Love those dogs. Good for you. Love a well-trained dog too. Jeff, I would love to know if you actually have a business around the training thing. Is that what your business does, or you just train on the side? Anyway, so my dog is well trained. I'm not asking from you for free. All right, next question while we're hearing from Jeff. All right, where was that one? I just saw one a second ago. That was really, really a good one. Trying to increase my prices. I think I'm charging below what I see other agencies charge for the same services, done-for-you services, web design. How do I raise my prices on existing customers? How do I raise my prices on future customers? Boom. Okay, so Jeff, by the way, offline and online training business. Dude, love that, man. Love that. What a cool passion project. I could totally get into that. Hang out with dogs all day? That'd be great. All right. Anyway, so how do you raise prices? Existing clients or future clients?
Yeah, so I'll take the first part of that, which is I'll take the future clients. Just raise the price. I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, matter of fact. If you think you're undercharging, you are. I guarantee you are. I can say right now, you could probably, if you believe that to be true, you could probably double your prices on your next presentation or your next proposal and probably sell it. So existing clients, you can, if you feel uncomfortable about it, raise it gradually at a 20% increment, 20 to 30%. I would say out of the gate, double your prices. I think I feel confident saying that without even knowing what your price point is, that you can double it if you feel that. If you feel that way about it, I would probably say that. As far as existing clients, I always look at that as a tough way to kind of approach it. My question to you is, what are your expenses? Do you know that actual number in terms of servicing that client? Figure that portion out first, because if you don't figure that out, you're just shooting in the dark. Even if you raise your prices, you may still be losing money. I had a conversation earlier this week with somebody that was, they were telling me what they wanted to make per hour. And then by the time we actually figured out, based upon them actually servicing the account and building out a website, we figured that, they were, I think, about $20 something off of the price point that they wanted to be at per hour.
Wow.
So it's a big disconnect there. And so you build that up over time, and then where they wanted to grow and be at on a monthly recurring revenues standpoint, they would have never hit it just by figuring out that equation right there. Like we figured that out and said, there's no way you'll be able to hit your goal based upon what you're saying at this current rate that you're at today. So I would go back and figure out what's the time that you're allocating to those clients. What's that breakdown from a dollar and cent standpoint, and then evaluate it and, make the decision or have that hard conversation where you say, hey, you can go back and talk to them and say that, or you can add on some additional services that offset that cost.
Yep. Love it. I'd say the same thing Bryn said about new clients. Just start raising your prices. I would raise your prices until you're losing 50% of the opportunities, assuming you don't raise 5% and lose half the gigs. But you got a lot of raising prices too. We do a lot of high ticket sales in our organization, and high ticket for us, high ticket's relative, right? So everybody's got their own high ticket mark. But for us, our average sale in our clientele is, we're between 80,000 and 160,000. So our average is somewhere in the 120, 130 range. But I know guys who sell at $1 million mark. I mean, there's so much space is the bottom line.
Yeah.
To raise your prices. It comes down to positioning. So you really got to make sure you've positioned yourself as the premium offer, and that the communication, the conversation, the way you've been referred, the way you've set up your entry into your organization, you're going to make sure that it's exclusive and looks really amazing. Not just your website, it looks amazing, but like the feel and the experience of coming to you is really one of those top-notch things. So yes, so much room to raise your prices. Just start doing it. It'll build confidence, and it'll make you a little more confident in making that pitch better once you're selling for more. Existing clients, yeah, it's tricky because they know you, and they know you at your lower price. So if you love them and you never want to lose them, try to gently raise prices. People realize that happens. If you go up 10% this year, no big deal. If you're going to go up 50%, you might lose some. If you can figure out a way to add value that doesn't take a lot of your time or resource, but makes it feel more valuable, and raise the price at the same time, it makes the client experience and that step up feel more comfortable, like they're getting something, even if it doesn't really cost you a lot to provide that extra value service, a little bonus in there somehow. Anyway.
Let me add something on there real quick to the end of that, because one of the easiest ways to do this, if you're an agency, is create an education platform or an education channel or vehicle that you can deliver, right? That's only going to cost you one time to develop, but you can deliver and charge extra to your existing clients for that, right? That'll help offset that, and your fulfillment is, almost nil, but will help you incrementally increase the value of that customer.
Yeah. Yep. That's really good. All right. I have one more question. If you have questions before we hang up, let us know. One more coming up. So fire away right here if you want one more. This one is from Fred. I like this. Okay. So bottom line here is as long. I'm just reading through. Fred wants to know from how do you hire and lead staff and keep them from leaving you? Been burnt a few times training someone, they leave in 2 weeks. International versus local, it sounds like. All virtual though. So how do you hire and lead staff so they won't leave you and they're going to kind of stay on that team? So you or me, buddy?
Yeah. So, what's funny is this is not one of my areas of strength. I actually have an integrator that I've hired to essentially manage and handle the operations of the internal team. But I would say one of the things that was taught to me in that process was, having your core values representing what your company is about. How do you guys deliver an experience to your customers? And then again, going back to the internal culture, what the internal culture is, right? On top of that is you can probably do things that filter out, and I know we do it internally, to filter out the type of personality that you want working for. Now that may be personality profile tests that you have. It might be creating a funnel just on the application process. So I know for us, we send, depending on what area we're hiring for, we send people through certain tests, and right away, if somebody applies and they are sending automation saying, okay, hey, the next step in your application process is to do XYZ. If they don't want to do it, we don't want that person around. So, we eliminate those people right there that feel like hard work or the opportunity to be a part of our family is not worth the effort. And so we just eliminate that type of personality. So I would say a combination of all those is kind of what we do internally. Chris, I'd love to hear, some of the answers you have.
Yeah. So for us, it comes down, and we actually went over this recently in the mastermind. For us, it comes down to what's the purpose of that staff member or team member? So is it, if you need to scale rapidly and you need to pick up like 5 new graphic designers because you got a huge project or a big client flow coming in, then you can do that with like Fiverr or Upwork or something like that. And those are kind of temporary folks that you don't need as much connection to. If you've got something where it's kind of a mid-range project where you're going to need somebody for 3 to 4 months, maybe longer, and you might want to keep them on long term, then we're going to go through typically like a staffing agency that's going to allow us to rent someone for like 2 or 3 hours a day. If they become a good culture fit, we keep them. If they don't, then the agency, the staffing agency, if that's international or local, the staffing agency then replaces them rapidly. The trick there is if they do get replaced, we need to have some SOPs in place. So we want to have those screen recordings, the written SOPs, whatever we can, so we can drop a new person in pretty rapidly. But our goal there is to find someone who's more sustainable. Third option, and I like this option the best, is where we are pretty much exclusively in our agency now, is we go after referrals, just like we do with new clients. Yeah, I want to know, Brennan, who do you know, man? I'm hiring somebody. In fact,
well, didn't I just do that to you?
Yeah, you reached out this week. Yeah. Yeah. We want to reach out and be like, who have you already interviewed? Who do you trust? Who do you know that's connected? We interviewed 3 amazing administrators a few months ago that were too closely connected to an existing person on our team. And we don't hire friends or family because it gets weird. And we want to be able to create honesty in our culture, and it doesn't foster honesty a lot. So those folks that didn't fit that grid, they were amazing people, but a little too close to one of our staff members. And so referrals work for us though. That way we can kind of get a peek under the hood, so to speak, about character and work ethic and the things that are going to make them a great team member. Then sustaining that, we do really honest and kind conversations at the 30-day mark. So they join our team, we get them trained up. Obviously they're spending a lot of time with us and our executive staff, early on getting trained. The 30-day mark, we do a mock review. So we actually test them and say, how are you doing? Here's how your score would be from a 6-month review standpoint. This is just pretend, 30 days in, keep it up, maybe tweak a few things, let them know it's coming. We do the same thing at 90 days. And then we start the real deal at the 6-month mark, and then every 6 months after that. So we have lots of good conversation early on. It kind of helps build the culture and the accountability and how we're going to relate. Anyway, that's how we do it. That's a good question.
Yeah, real good question.
Chris Collier has a question right there. I'm enjoying this. What do we have to do to continue this live? Well, we're going to drop a payment link down here, Chris. No, man, just ask questions. We absolutely love that's what this Facebook group is all about. We just want to add value and bring us all together. We're all in this thing together. Doesn't matter where you are, what level you're at in your agency. If you're just getting things rolling and you got a staff member or a VA, or if you've got like 20 or 30 people on your team and you're producing a couple million a year, we got all ranges in here. But bottom line is, you're going to be surprised. The person who's got, a year or two under their belt is asking questions about, now, do I really want to approach that market, or is this the right product or service to offer? The people who are making $10 million a year in their agency are still saying, is this how I want to approach that market? And is the right offer? It's the same stuff. So we're all listening together. All the questions are relevant. Thanks, Chris Collier, for hanging out, dude. That's great. Breynan, anything else? You good?
Just happy to be here, man.
Happy to be here. Wish the restaurants were open. Want to get on an airplane. Want to travel to France. Want to sit on a beach. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling about. It'll happen soon enough, right?
At some point.
Yeah. Everybody stay safe out there. You'll have a good weekend, but really everybody stay safe. Super glad you're in this group. But hey, turn it off this weekend. Get some rest. If you're allowed to go outside and hang out where you are in the world, do that. Take advantage of some sunshine or some rain. Just go for a walk. Be active. Pick your favorite 80s movie and watch it. Call a friend.
I don't know about 80s movies, but okay.
All right,
something on Netflix. There you go.
All right, Breynan, man, thanks for hanging out, bud. Great to see you.
Always, man. Always.
Thanks, everybody.